The suitcase stood upright by the door, beige and expensive, like it had never known stress. Lena rested her hand on the handle and smiled at me, the same polished smile she'd practiced her whole life. "You'll be fine, right?" she said. "It's just 2 weeks." I nodded. I always nodded. "Yeah, of course." Victor checked his watch. "We're already late," he said, not looking at me. He never did when it mattered. Maya stood between us, fingers curled into the hem of her sweater. She didn't look at her parents. She looked at the floor, like the wood might say something kinder than they ever did. "Come here," Lena said sweetly. "Say goodbye." Maya didn't move. Lena's smile tightened for half a second. "Maya." I crouched beside her. "Hey," I said softly. "You can stay with me. We'll draw. Remember the pencils I showed you?" Her eyes flicked up to mine, dark and watchful. She nodded once. "She's still not talking, right?" Victor asked, adjusting his jacket. "No," I said, "but she understands everything." Alina laughed lightly. "Doctors say she's just delayed. She'll grow out of it." I swallowed. "She's 7. That's still young," Lena replied quickly. "Anyway, you've always been good with this kind of thing." This kind of thing, like my niece was a chore, not a child. "I packed her schedule," Lena continued, pulling papers from her bag. "Meals, bedtime, screen limits. Don't change anything. Routine is important." I took the papers. "Okay. And don't let her sleep in your bed," Lena added. "She gets clingy." Maya's fingers tightened. "I won't," I said, though the words tasted wrong. Victor reached for the door. "We'll call," he said, already halfway out. Lena bent and kissed Maya's head. "Be good," she whispered, then louder to me. "And thank you, seriously. I don't know what we'd do without you." She said it like a compliment. It felt like a reminder. The door closed behind them with a soft click. Not a slam, nothing dramatic, just a quiet, final sound. For a moment, neither of us moved. The house felt different without Lena's voice filling it, without Victor's footsteps pacing. The silence pressed in, thick and uneasy. I exhaled slowly. "Okay," I said. "It's just us now." Maya looked up at me again. Her eyes didn't soften, they searched. "Are you hungry? I can make pasta or soup." She shrugged. "That's fine, we can decide together." I reached for her hand. She hesitated, then let me take it. Her palm was cold. We walked into the kitchen. I set the papers on the counter without reading them. I'd followed Lena's rules my whole life. Tonight, I wanted to breathe. I filled a pot with water. "You can sit," I said, "or draw, or just stand there." She stood there. I tried again. "You know, when I was your age, I hated quiet houses. They made my head loud." She tilted her head slightly. "My sister was always louder than me, still is." Maya's mouth twitched. Not a smile, something closer to recognition. The water began to boil. The sound felt too sharp. "Do you want the blue bowl or the green one?" I asked. She pointed to the blue. "Blue it is." We sat at the table, steam rising between us. She ate slowly, counting each bite like it mattered. "You don't have to finish," I said. "I won't be mad." Her shoulders loosened a little. After dinner, I pulled out an old photo album. "Want to see pictures of when your mom was little?" She nodded cautiously. I pointed to a photo. "That's me, and that's your mom." Maya studied it, then tapped me. "Yes," I said. "I was always there." She flipped the page herself. More pictures, birthdays, holidays, Lena in the center of every frame. "Do you see yourself?" I asked. She shook her head. "I didn't either," I admitted quietly. Her eyes flicked up, surprised. I closed the album. "You can talk if you want," I said, "or not. Either way is okay." She stared at the table for a long moment. Then she whispered, barely audible, "Doors." I froze. "Doors?" She swallowed. "Listen." I held my breath. Nothing. She shook her head, frustrated, then pointed to her ears and mouthed the word again. Listen. You hear things? I asked gently. She nodded, then pressed her lips together like she'd already said too much. It's okay, I said quickly. You don't have to explain. Her eyes filled with something like relief or fear. That night, as I tucked her in, she clutched my sleeve. You can sleep, I said. I'm right here. She whispered again, clearer this time. Don't let them come back. My heart slammed hard against my ribs. Who? I asked, though I already knew. She didn't answer. She turned her face to the wall. I sat there long after her breathing evened out. The house wasn't quiet anymore. It was listening. I didn't sleep. I lay on my side, staring at the dark, listening to every sound the house made, every shift of air. Maya's whisper kept replaying in my head like a warning I'd been too slow to understand. Don't let them come back. At some point past midnight, I heard her door open. Maya? I whispered. No answer. I pushed myself up and stepped into the hallway. She stood there, barefoot, clutching her drawing notebook to her chest. Her eyes weren't sleepy, they were sharp, awake in a way no child should be at that hour. You okay? I asked. She nodded, then shook her head, then looked past me toward the front door. You had a bad dream? I said. She hesitated. Then she walked past me, straight into the living room, and sat on the couch like she'd made a decision. I followed, my heart beating too fast. You don't have to be alone, I said. I can sit with you. She patted the cushion beside her. I sat. For a moment, she just breathed, slow, measured, like she was practicing. Maya, I said softly, you can wake me anytime. You don't have to be scared. She swallowed hard. Then she spoke. They said you wouldn't listen. The words were clear, quiet, but steady, not broken, not delayed. My entire body went cold. You can talk, I said, stupidly. She winced at the sound of my voice, then nodded. I always could. My throat tightened. Why didn't you? She stared at her hands. Because when I did, bad things happened. I leaned forward. What kind of bad things? She shook her head quickly. I can't say it all at once. That's okay, I said. We can go slow. She looked at me then, really looked like she was searching my face for something specific. You won't tell them? I won't, I said immediately. I promise. She exhaled, shaky. They said you'd pick them. My chest ached. Pick them how? Over me, she whispered. I felt something crack open inside me. I won't, I said again. I won't ever. She nodded, but she didn't look convinced. They listen, she said. Who listens? She pointed upward, not at the ceiling, at the walls. Doors, phones, vents. I glanced around, suddenly aware of every shadow. You mean your parents? She nodded. Mom says silence is safer. Anger flared hot and sudden. I forced myself to keep my voice calm. Did she tell you not to talk? Yes. Did she hurt you? I asked, hating myself for the question. Maya didn't answer. She opened her notebook instead and flipped to a page I hadn't seen. It showed a stick figure with its mouth crossed out. A bigger figure stood over it, finger pressed to its lips. I used to whisper to my toys, but she heard me once. My hands curled into fists. What happened? She cried. Then Dad got mad. Then they said I was sick. My stomach dropped. Sick how? She said, people don't like loud girls. I closed my eyes for a second. Memories rushed in uninvited. Lena telling me to stop being dramatic. Mom telling me to keep the peace. Dad telling me not to embarrass anyone. When did you stop talking? I asked. After the door, Maya said. "What door?" "The bathroom," she whispered. "I was locked in. I screamed. No one came." My breath caught. "How old were you?" She held up 4 fingers. 4. I reached out without thinking and pulled her into me. She stiffened, then slowly relaxed, like she'd been waiting to fall. "I'm so sorry," I whispered. "I should have seen it." "You didn't know," she said quietly. "They said you're like them." That hurt more than anything else. "I'm not," I said. "I swear I'm not." She pulled back and searched my face again. "They're coming back early." "What?" My heart slammed. "Did they tell you that?" She shook her head. "Mom changes plans when she feels watched." "Watched? How do you know?" "She checks her phone more," she said. "She smiles less." I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and checked messages. Nothing. No missed calls, no updates. "When?" I asked. "Soon," she said, "before I forget how to be quiet." Fear washed over me, thick and heavy. "You don't have to be quiet anymore." "Yes, I do," she said firmly, "if you want to live." The words didn't sound like a child's imagination. They sounded like experience. "Maya," I said, keeping my voice low, "did Mom ever say something about me?" She nodded. "She said you were weak, that no one would believe you." I laughed weakly. "That's why you're dangerous." "Dangerous?" I echoed. "You notice things," she said. "You just pretend you don't." I stared at her, my pulse roaring in my ears. "What do you want me to do?" I asked. She took my hand, her grip stronger than I expected. "Don't send me back." The house creaked softly around us. Outside, a car passed. Headlights swept across the wall like a warning. "I won't," I said, the words locked into place inside me. Maya nodded once. Then she leaned against me, finally tired. As she drifted to sleep, one thought burned brighter than the rest. My niece hadn't found her voice to save herself. She'd found it to save me. Morning came too fast. I woke on the couch with Maya's head on my shoulder and the taste of fear still sharp in my mouth. For a few seconds, I hoped I'd dreamed everything. Then she stirred and whispered, "You're still here." "I'm not going anywhere," I said. She sat up slowly, scanning the room like she expected it to change while she slept. When it didn't, her shoulders dropped. "Do you want cereal?" I asked. "Yes, with bananas, if that's okay." The fact that she asked made my chest ache. "It's more than okay," I said. We ate at the table, the same one where she'd drawn houses and loved doors. She spoke quietly now, like someone testing thin ice. Every sentence felt measured. "I talked too much," she said suddenly.
"No," I replied. "You told the truth." She frowned. "Truth makes people angry." "That doesn't mean it's wrong," I said. She studied me. "That's not what Mom says." I pushed my bowl away. "What does she say?" Maya traced the rim of her glass. "She says truth is dangerous, that some people don't deserve it." My jaw tightened. "Did she say who?" She nodded. "You." The word landed heavy between us. "She said you'd ruin things," Maya continued, "that you always make problems by asking questions." I laughed softly, bitter. "That sounds familiar." "You didn't stop asking," Maya said. "No," I admitted. "I just stopped saying them out loud." She tilted her head. "Why?" I stared at the table, at the faint scratch marks from years of family dinners. Because every time I did, someone told me I was wrong for feeling the way I felt. Maya considered that. "So you learned to be quiet too?" "Yes," I said. "I did." After breakfast, I called in sick to work. My voice shook when I left the message, but I didn't care. Nothing mattered more than keeping Maya close. We sat on the floor with her notebook between us. "You can tell me things a little at a time," I said. "We don't have to rush." She nodded. "Okay." She flipped to a blank page and drew 2 girls, one tall, one small. "That's you?" I asked. She pointed to the tall one, then she crossed out the small one's mouth. "That's me," she said. I swallowed hard. "When did it start?" She tapped the smaller figure. "When Dad stopped looking at me." "What do you mean?" "He used to read to me," she said. "Then Mom said it made me dependent. She said strong girls don't need comfort." I felt something twist inside me. "And your dad?" "He listens to Mom," Maya said simply. "He always has." I nodded slowly. I knew that pattern too well. "Did anyone ever ask you why you stopped talking?" I asked. She shook her head. "They told people I couldn't." "That's not the same thing," I said. "I know," she replied quietly. As the day went on, memories kept surfacing, uninvited and sharp. My mother telling me to apologize even when I hadn't done anything wrong. Lena crying until everyone rushed to comfort her, while I stood invisible beside them, being praised for being easy, flexible, understanding. Maya watched me closely. "You're remembering," she said. "Yes," I admitted, "and it hurts." She nodded like that made sense. "It hurts me when I remember too." I took a breath. "Maya, when your parents come back?" She stiffened. "When I won't send you back," I finished, "but we need help, grown-up help." She looked wary. "Doctors?" "Someone who listens," I said. "Someone who believes children." "Will they tell my mom?" "If it's not safe," I said carefully, "and if it's not safe, they'll protect you." She thought about that for a long time. Then she asked, "Will they protect you too?" The question stunned me. "I'm the adult," I said. "I'm supposed to protect you." She shook her head. "They don't like you." I sighed. "No, they don't." "Then you need protection too," Maya said firmly. Something shifted inside me then. Not fear, resolve. That evening, my phone buzzed again. Lena. I let it ring. Maya looked at the screen, then at me. "You don't have to answer." "I know," I said. When it stopped, I felt lighter, like I'd just broken a rule I'd followed my entire life. Later, as I tucked Maya into bed, she reached for my hand. "If they ask," she said, "I'll tell." My throat tightened. "Tell what?" "The truth," she said. "All of it." I squeezed her hand. "You don't owe anyone anything." "Yes, I do," she said softly. "I owe myself." After she fell asleep, I sat alone in the dark and let the weight of it all settle. Everything I'd accepted as normal had been built on silence, on choosing comfort over truth, on shrinking so others wouldn't feel threatened. I wasn't just protecting Maya, I was finally protecting the version of myself I'd been taught to ignore. And I knew deep down that truth started moving. It didn't stop. It broke doors open. The call came while Maya was brushing her teeth. I saw Lena's name light up my phone and felt my stomach drop, like my body had learned the danger before my mind caught up. Maya glanced at the screen too. Her shoulders stiffened. "You don't have to," she said quickly, toothpaste foaming at the corner of her mouth. I wiped it gently with a towel. "I know." The phone kept buzzing, once, twice, then it stopped. A second later, it rang again. I stepped into the hallway and answered. "Hello?" "Why haven't you answered any of my messages?" Lena snapped. No greeting, no pretense. "I've been busy," I replied. "With what?" she demanded. "With Maya. She's been talking." Silence. Not the awkward kind, the kind that pulls tight, like someone holding their breath. "What do you mean, talking?" Lena asked finally, her voice suddenly light. Too light. "I mean, speaking," I said, in full sentences. Another pause, then a laugh, sharp, controlled. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking." "You always exaggerate. You read too much into things, you know that." "I didn't imagine it," I said. I told her things. "Things?" Lena repeated. "What kind of things?" I hesitated, not because I doubted myself, because I knew exactly how dangerous the truth was to her. "About being told not to talk," I said carefully. "About being afraid." She exhaled loudly. "Oh my God, is that what this is? You're putting ideas in her head." "I didn't ask her to say anything," I replied. "She spoke because she trusted me." "That child doesn't know what she's saying. She's confused." "She's not. She's scared." "And whose fault do you think that is?" she shot back. The implication hung heavy. "I think," I said slowly, "that something is very wrong." "You always do this," Lena said. "You always need there to be a problem." "No," I said. "You need there to not be one." Her tone changed then, dropped lower, colder. "Listen to me. Maya is fine. She's always been sensitive. And you," she paused, "you're projecting." "I'm not," I said. "I'm listening." "You don't get to decide what's best for my daughter," Lena hissed. "She's not an object," I said. "She's a child." "And she's mine," Lena said sharply. "You're crossing the line." I closed my eyes. "You crossed it first." "What did you say?" I said. "You crossed it first, telling her silence is safety, teaching her fear." Lena laughed again, but there was no humor in it. "Be careful," she said. "You're starting to sound unstable." There it was, the word she'd used on me my entire life. "I'm not unstable," I said. "I'm done being quiet." Another pause, then her voice turned syrupy. "You're tired. You've always been emotional. That's why I didn't want her watching her for long." My hand tightened around the phone. "Then why did you?" "Because you're useful," she said without thinking. The silence after that was mine. "I'm keeping her with me," I said finally. Lena's breath hitched. "Excuse me?" "I'm not sending her back," I repeated. "Not until we talk to someone. A professional." "You don't have that right," Lena said, panic bleeding through now. "I do if she's not safe." "She is safe," Lena shouted. "You're twisting things." "I'm protecting her," I said. "Something you failed to do." That did it. "You think you're better than me?" Lena demanded. "You always have. Sitting there, judging, pretending you're moral." "I never thought I was better," I said. "I just didn't think you'd go this far." "You have no proof," she said quickly. "No one will believe you." "I'm not asking them to believe me," I replied. "I'm asking them to listen to her." There was breathing on the other end, fast, uneven. "You send her back," Lena said, her voice shaking now, "or I swear I will make your life hell." Maya appeared at the end of the hallway, toothbrush for baton in her hand. She shook her head slowly. "I won't," I said. "You think you're strong?" Lena whispered. "You're nothing without this family." I smiled then, a small, sad thing. "That's where you're wrong." The line went dead. I lowered the phone and leaned against the wall, my legs trembling. Maya walked up to me. "She's mad," she said softly. "Yes," I said, "she is." "She'll try to take me," Maya added. I knelt in front of her and took her hands. "Then we won't let her." "How?" she asked. "We do it the right way," I said, "with truth." She studied my face, then nodded. "Okay." That night, after Maya fell asleep, I sat at my laptop and started writing everything down. Dates, memories, words Maya had said. I wasn't angry, I was focused. Lena had always underestimated me, thought my silence meant weakness. She was about to learn the difference. The next morning, I didn't wait for fear to talk me out of anything. Maya sat at the kitchen table, swinging her legs slowly. "Are you leaving?" she asked. "Yes," I said, "but not without you." Her eyes widened. "I can come?" "I won't do this without you. You're the most important part." She nodded, serious. "Okay." We sat in the car for a moment before I started the engine. My hands shook, so I wrapped them around the steering wheel until they steadied. "Where are we going?" Maya asked. "To talk to someone who listens," I said. "Someone who helps kids." She considered that. "Will they make me talk?" "No," I said. "They'll let you." That seemed to matter. Dr. Ellis's office smelled like lemon and old books. The waiting room walls were soft blue, the kind meant to calm. Maya stayed close to me, her fingers hooked into my sleeve. Dr. Ellis knelt when she saw her. "Hi, Maya. I'm Ellis." Maya didn't speak. She looked at me. "You can say hi, gently," I said, "or you can just sit." "I'll sit," Maya said quietly. Dr. Ellis's eyes flicked to me, but she didn't react. She smiled like nothing was unusual. "That's perfectly fine." Inside the office, Maya chose a chair near the door. "I like that one," Dr. Ellis said casually. "It makes sense to want an exit." Maya's shoulders relaxed just a little. We talked slowly. I didn't rush. I didn't fill silences. When Maya spoke, Dr. Ellis listened like every word mattered. "She told you not to talk?" Dr. Ellis asked gently. Maya nodded. "She said quiet girls are good girls. And what happens to girls who aren't quiet?" Dr. Ellis asked gently. "They make trouble," Maya replied, "and trouble gets taken away." My throat tightened. Dr. Ellis wrote something down. "Did anyone ever hurt you when you talked?" Maya looked at me. "You can answer," I said softly. "I'm right here." She nodded. "I got locked in rooms." "How long?" Dr. Ellis asked. "Until I stopped crying." I felt sick. After the session, Dr. Ellis asked to speak to me alone. "She's not mute," she said gently. "She's traumatized and very aware." "I know," I replied. "I'll file a report," she continued. "That doesn't mean she'll be taken from you. It means there's a record. Protection." I exhaled slowly. "Thank you." "There's something else," she added. "This isn't new. Her behaviors suggest long-term conditioning." "I was afraid of that," I said. Dr. Ellis met my eyes. "You did the right thing." For the first time in days, I believed it. On the way home, Maya was quiet. "Are you okay?" I asked. "She believed me," Maya said. "Yes," I replied. "She did." That afternoon, I pulled school records, emails, notes from teachers about Naya being well-behaved, silent, non-disruptive. I saw the pattern clearly now. Silence had been rewarded, fear disguised as discipline. My phone buzzed again. Lena, then my mother. I didn't answer. By evening, the first crack appeared. Victor called. "Your sister's upset," I said. "I know. She says you're refusing to return Maya." "That's correct." "This is getting out of hand," Victor said. "Lena's worried about her image." I almost laughed. "That's what you're worried about?" He sighed. "You don't understand what you're doing." "No," I said calmly. "You never understood what she was doing." He went quiet. "I know you didn't want conflict," I continued, "but avoiding it doesn't make you innocent." "I just want this to stop," Victor said. "So did Maya," I replied. "That's why she stopped talking." He hung up. That night, I organized everything into folders. Dates, quotes, drawings, audio recordings, with Maya's permission. This wasn't revenge. It was documentation. Maya watched me from the couch. "Are they losing?" she asked. "Not yet," I said, "but they're not winning anymore." She smiled faintly, and for the first time, I understood something clearly. Truth doesn't scream. It waits, and then it stands.
He exhaled. "You're making everyone uncomfortable." "I'm making them accountable," I said. The calls kept coming. Cousins, aunts, voices layered with concern that never once mentioned Maya's name. "She should be with her parents. You're poisoning her. You've always been jealous of Lena." Each word felt like a shove back into the role I'd spent my life playing. Maya sat beside me as I read the messages. "They don't like when you don't bend," she said softly. "No," I agreed. "They don't." That night, someone knocked on the door. My heart jumped into my throat. I peered through the peephole. My mother stood there, arms crossed, lips tight. I opened the door just enough to step outside. "Where is she?" my mother demanded. "Safe," I said. "You don't get to decide that," she replied. "Give her back." "No." Her eyes narrowed. "You're doing this to punish Lena. I'm doing this to protect Maya."
She's fine, my mother insisted. You're blowing this up. Maya's voice floated from behind me, quiet, steady. I'm not fine. My mother froze. I can talk, Maya continued. I always could. The color drained from my mother's face. You're lying, she whispered. Maya stepped closer to me. Mom said quiet girls are loved more. My mother looked at me, horror flickering for just a second before it hardened into anger. You've coached her, she accused. I laughed then, not kindly. She learned silence from you. My mother stepped back like I'd struck her. This isn't over, she said. I know, I replied. She left without another word. That night, I sat on the edge of Maya's bed while she drifted to sleep. They're loud when they're scared, she murmured. Yes, I said, they are. Are you scared? She asked. I thought about it, about the loneliness, the cost. Yes, I admitted, but I'm not backing down. She smiled sleepily. Good. As I turned off the light, my phone buzzed one last time. A message from Lena. You think you've won. You haven't. I stared at the words, calm settling over me like armor. This wasn't the part where I broke. This was the part where they did. They came back 3 days later. I knew before the doorbell rang. The air changed, thick and sharp like the moment before a storm breaks. Maya felt it too. She stopped coloring and looked at me, eyes steady. She's here, she said. Yes, but remember, you're not alone. The doorbell rang again, longer this time, impatient. I opened the door to find Lena standing there, sunglasses still on, suitcase behind her like proof she'd been interrupted. Victor hovered a step back, shoulders hunched. You don't look sorry, Lena said, pushing past me. This isn't your house, I said, blocking her path. She laughed. You're still pretending this is about safety. Maya stepped into view behind me. Lena froze. For a split second, the mask slipped. Fear, then fury. Maya, Lena said sharply, come here. Maya didn't move. She stays with me, I said. Lena turned on me. You filled her head with lies. I told the truth, Maya quietly. Lena's laugh cracked. You don't know what truth is. I know doors and being quiet. Victor cleared his throat. Let's not do this here. No, Lena snapped. We're doing it now. She dropped her suitcase and pointed at me. You wanted attention. Congratulations. I folded my arms. This isn't about me. It always is, she shot back. You've always resented me. I resented the way you were protected, even when you were wrong. Lena's jaw tightened. You're jealous. Maya looked up at her mother. Why did you tell me not to talk? The question hung there, naked and impossible to dodge. Lena's lips parted. No sound came out. Victor looked between them, confusion creeping in. Lena? She asked. She's confused, Lena snapped. She doesn't remember things correctly. I remember the bathroom. The light was off. Victor went pale. Lena? Stop, Lena hissed. She's manipulating you. I stepped forward. A therapist has filed a report. Lena's eyes snapped to mine. You did what? I documented everything. Drawings, statements, dates. Victor swore under his breath. You had no right, Lena said, voice shaking now. You've ruined everything. No, I replied calmly. You did. Lena's control unraveled fast after that. She paced, she cried, she blamed everyone but herself. They'll believe me, she insisted. I'm her mother. They'll listen to her, I corrected, for the first time. Maya tugged my sleeve. Can I go to my room? Yes, I said. You don't have to hear this. As she walked away, Lena lunged forward. You're taking her side? I'm taking the truth's side, I said. Victor sank into a chair. Why didn't you tell me? He asked Lena quietly. She rounded on him. Because you never defend me. That's not an answer, he said. Silence swallowed the room. For the first time, Lena looked small. "You underestimated us," I said. "Both of us." Lena stared at the hallway where Maya had disappeared. Regret flickered across her face, not for what she'd done, but for losing control. "This isn't over," she whispered. "No," I agreed. "It's just started." And for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of what came next. The power had shifted, and everyone in the room felt it. The house felt smaller after that, like the walls had moved closer, forcing everything into the open. Victor left first. He said he needed air, but the way he avoided Lena's eyes told me it was more than that. Lena stayed, pacing like a trapped animal, her anger burning itself down into something sharper. "You planned this," she said finally. "You've always wanted to humiliate me." I shook my head. "I wanted you to stop." She laughed, brittle and thin. "You think this ends well for you? For her?" Maya stood at the end of the hallway, listening. She didn't hide anymore. "Go to my room," Lena snapped. "This isn't for you." "It is about me," Maya said. Her voice shook, but it didn't break. "You don't get to speak to me like that." "Yes, I do," Maya said. "You're my mother." Lena's face flushed. "After everything I sacrificed." "You sacrificed me." She turned on me. "You turned her against me." "No," Maya said softly. "You did." The room went quiet in a way that felt permanent. "I tried to be good," Maya continued. "I tried to be quiet. I tried to make you happy." Lena's eyes filled with tears. "I did what I thought was best." "You did what made you comfortable," I replied. She covered her face, sobbing now. "I was afraid," she whispered. "I didn't want her to be weak." "I wasn't weak. I was scared." Lena looked up at her daughter, really seeing her for the first time. "I didn't know it was that bad." "You didn't want to know." The words hit harder than shouting ever could. "I can fix this," Lena said suddenly. "We don't have to tell anyone else. We can be a family." I felt the familiar pull of that word. Family, the thing that had kept me quiet for decades. "No," I said. "That's over." Lena's face twisted. "You're choosing this over us?" "I'm choosing her, and myself." Maya slipped her hand into mine. It was warm, steady. Lena's voice dropped to a whisper. "You'll regret this." "Maybe, but not as much as I regret staying silent." She sank onto the couch, defeated. The power she'd always carried drained out of her, leaving only the truth she could no longer outrun. Later that night, after Lena left with nothing but her purse and her pride, Maya and I sat together in the quiet. "Did I do something wrong?" Maya asked. "No," I said immediately. "You did something brave." She nodded slowly. "It still hurts." "I know," I said, "but hurt isn't the same as harm." She leaned into me, her head against my shoulder. Outside, the streetlights hummed softly. The world kept going. Inside, something had ended, and something stronger had begun. The house didn't feel empty after Lena left. It felt clear. Morning light spilled across the kitchen floor, soft and unafraid. Maya sat at the table eating toast, legs swinging freely now, humming without checking who might hear her. The sound still startled me sometimes, not because it was wrong, but because it was new. "Did you sleep?" I asked. She nodded. "All night." "No bad dreams?" She thought for a moment. "No locked doors." I smiled. "That's good." The weeks that followed were quieter than the chaos before, but heavier in their own way. Meetings, paperwork, long conversations with people who took notes and asked careful questions. Maya spoke when she wanted to, stayed silent when she didn't. No one forced her either way. Each time someone listened, she grew taller somehow. One afternoon, as we walked back from the park, she said, "They asked me if I want to live with you." My heart skipped. "What did you say?" She looked up at me. "I said yes." I stopped walking. "Are you sure?" "Yes," she said. "You don't disappear when I talk." I swallowed hard. "I'm not going to." That night, After she fell asleep, I sat alone and let myself feel everything I'd pushed down for years. The anger, the grief, the relief. I thought about all the times I'd been told I was too sensitive, too emotional, too much. I wasn't too much. I was just surrounded by people who needed me to be less. Maya found her voice by breaking her silence. I found mine by finally using it. On the day the decision became official, Maya squeezed my hand. "Does this mean we're safe now?" "Yes," I said, and this time I knew it was true. She smiled, not small, not careful, just free. As I tucked her into bed that night, she whispered, "Thank you for listening." I kissed her forehead. "Thank you for speaking." When I turned off the light, I caught my reflection in the mirror. I looked the same, but I wasn't. I had spent my whole life believing I was weak because I was quiet. I was wrong. I was quiet because I was strong enough to survive. And now, I wasn't silent anymore.